Hey guys, it's Robin and welcome to my channel. Today on the Robin's Nest, I have a really fun and quick tutorial to share with all of you. We're going to be making this adorable pink unicorn cake and I hope you guys love her because I think she turned out so cute and I can't wait to make her for you. So let's get right into it. So for today's cake, I baked up two 6-inch vanilla cake layers and I've added some sprinkles because sprinkles are fun. And we're just going to begin by first leveling these out and then torting each cake into two separate layers. Now we're going to attach that first layer of cake to our cake board using a little bit of buttercream, and you're going to want to give that a little press down to make sure it's secure. Then we're going to go ahead and fill that first layer of cake. So I wanted to do a little stripe pattern inside with a variety of shades of pink. And starting with the darkest color first, I'm going to gradually work my way in to the center of the cake. And then we're going to smooth that buttercream out a little bit because we don't want any air bubbles to form between any of our layers of cake because we all know they have a way of wanting to escape through the sides of our finished cakes. And prevention is key, as they say. So we're just going to go ahead and repeat that pattern between each of our layers of cake, and then I'm going to pop my cake into the fridge for a little bit to firm it up so that way my layers don't slide around while I'm trying to frost my cake. So I don't do this often, but we're going to skip our crumb coat today because I wanted to show you guys that it is possible to help you save time if you're in a bit of a rush with a cake. So what we're going to do is fill up a piping bag with some buttercream in the color of your choice, and then we're going to pipe an extra thick layer of that buttercream all over our entire cake, making sure to get really good coverage. Now, once we have our cake completely covered, I'm going to switch over to an offset spatula to first smooth out the top and then even out those sides a little bit before we start to smooth our cake. And because we skipped that crumb coat, I do find it helps the buttercream bond to the cake a little better before we switch over to the bench scraper and start scraping the cake. And while you are smoothing your cake, use a little bit of caution and don't press too hard with that scraper because you don't want to take too much buttercream off while you're smoothing the cake. You just want to take off a tiny little bit at a time so that no crumbs are going to show through. And now, holding your bench scraper at approximately a 30-degree angle, we're going to carefully drag that little lip of icing around the edge inwards and sort of lift it off as we go. And now we're going to pop our cake into the fridge while we work on the decorations for our unicorn. So we're going to start with the biggest decoration first, the unicorn horn, because this piece is the thickest piece of fondant and it's going to need a bit of time to dry, so it's a good idea to start with this one first. So I've rolled out an extra long snake shape and I have tapered it off on either end. Then I've folded it in half and now I'm carefully twisting it and kind of pressing it together a little bit as I go, trying to mold it and carefully fuse it together with the heat of my hands. And then we're going to smooth it out by rolling it on the table a little bit and then finally snipping off that fat end and sticking a wooden shish kebab stick inside for support. Now I'm going to set this to dry in my food dehydrator for approximately a half hour, but if you're air drying it, you're probably going to want to leave it overnight. So now it's time to make the ears, and these are actually super easy. We're going to take a piece of fondant in the same shade as our buttercream, and I'm going to roll it out fairly thick, place 2 toothpicks on top, press them inside, and then we're going to roll out a piece of dark pink. So for this part, if you want to make sure both ears are exactly the same, I do recommend using a template, but I'm just going to eyeball it for now and kind of use that first one to create the pattern for the second one, so to speak. So now we're just going to take those 2 little inner ears and we're going to stick those into place over where the toothpick laid. And now I'm going to press them down a little bit to secure and then finally cut out the rest of the ear shape. And there you have it, 2 little unicorn ears for our cake. And these don't actually need any time to dry with this technique. The toothpicks help them stand up perfectly straight. So for this next part, I wanted to try something different because I'm used to just doing either rosettes or using a variety of piping tips and colors to create a unique design for the mane. And I don't know why it didn't occur to me before, but I thought to myself, wouldn't it be really nice to try a braid? So using a 1M piping tip and a big old bag of this pretty pink buttercream, we're piping 2 small rows at a time and overlapping them diagonally all the way down the back side and off to the left of the cake. And if you're wondering why I'm piping 2 small rows at a time, it's so it gives us a nice thick braid. But then I switch over to just 1 row at a time as we taper it off towards the end of the braid. And as you can see, I'm also using some rosettes on the top and in the front just to give her a little bit of a bang. And I'm actually really happy with how that turned out. I think it looks really good. So now we can start on her face. So I've just went ahead and freehanded these, and I've made them out of a little bit of black fondant and cut them using my X-Acto knife. And now we're just going to stick those in place. And you might have to shift those around a little bit if they look crooked, but I don't recommend using your fingers. Use a small tool so you don't mess up the finish on your cake. Okay, so all we have left to add are the ears and the horn, but I want to make this extra pretty, so we're going to add some beautiful pink flowers to her mane. And to make these little rosettes, my absolute favorite piping tip, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but Ateco number 16. They just turn out so cute. I absolutely love them. Don't you guys think they look sweet? And I don't know why, but every time I make a girly animal cake, I love to add a flower headband. I just think it ties the design together perfectly. So now we're just going to finish off these flowers with the number 352 leaf piping tip and a big bag of green buttercream. And we're just going to pipe these here and there and everywhere until I'm happy with how it looks and every rosette has some leaves. Also, for anybody who might be curious, I forgot to mention earlier, but I will leave the link down below for my Easy American Buttercream, and if you guys do happen to give it a try, I would love to know what you think. Well, that's it for the hair, but we're not done yet. I love to add little cutie marks to my unicorn cakes. I think it just ties everything together and looks super sweet. And of course we can't forget our decorative ribbon. I thought the polka dots were a nice touch. And we're also going to add our birthday girl's name and age. Well, that is it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed watching me make this pretty pink unicorn cake. I thought it was a really nice change from our normal rainbow unicorns. And I hope you guys agree, but I think it turned out great. So I hope you'll leave the video a like and leave a comment down below to let me know what you think. And if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit subscribe and ring the bell for lots more fun bakes. Thanks for watching, guys, and I hope I see you for the next